You know, a long time ago, I was super afraid of all the monitor glare I get in my glasses, but who cares? I am a brave boy. What's going on, guys? My name is Tommy. Welcome back to another episode of Min-Maxing for Fun and Profit. I should probably run downstairs and be like, hey, Josh, what did you want me to talk about again? I like to sit in chair. I'm lazy boy. This one is coming courtesy of Mr. Josh King. Teamwork feat optimization. Actually, to be perfectly honest with you, this is literally a build I've had in my back pocket, intending to use in a pretty soon future game for quite some time. Sometimes really bad things happen in your life. Sometimes you make mistakes. Sometimes you get a character out of it. So yeah, I got a lot to say about this one. Anyway, if you're liking what you're seeing, like, subscribe, ding that bell. Remember that patronage at any tier gets your requests, should you have them, to the very top of that line. It also gets you Google Sheets for all of our min-maxing for fun and profit characters. It also gives you guides for complicated mechanics. And actually, yeah, I guess we can go ahead and say this here. With Pathfinder 2nd Edition right around the corner, the patrons are already talking about what we're going to optimize first. Our Patreon link is in the description. If you'd like to help out the channel and also make sure your favorite class is covered first on August 1st. Anyway, this episode of Min-Maxing for Fun and Profit, as you might imagine, was brought to you in part by the man who requested it, Mr. Josh King. Couldn't do it without you. Thank you so much, my friend. Now let's hit it. Okay, actually, let's unhit it. I'm gonna have a little bit of real talk first. I have a lot to say once again. The character that I will be showing you guys today comes from a very deep place in my heart. Let's just say that sometimes we make mistakes in life. Sometimes we do things that are not for the best reasons. Sometimes we do them in an attempt to look better than we actually are, in an attempt to strut, I suppose. Just blatantly. That's it, that's all. Names will not be named. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, okay, you don't know what I'm talking about. But a long, long time ago, about a year ago actually, I was in a party with one barbarian. That individual was invited to that party more so because I wanted to impress them than because, hey, let's spend time together, let's roll dice together, let's have fun. And to be honest, I carried that around for like 6 months. Because at the time, I didn't know how relationships worked. Might be a reason my marriage failed. Might be a reason I was married in the first place. Anyway, lots of horrible things went horrible on like 5 or 6 different points of view. I left the group. She eventually left as well. And it was like a week after we started talking about it. And I decided that I needed to make up for what I had done wrong. It's one thing to say, hey, I'm sorry. It's one thing to have a lesson and learn it. It's the better thing to have a lesson, learn it, and then do it a million times better. So, yeah, I will be playing this character sometime-ish in the near future-ish. Games are weird. Josh, odds are you're probably going to be in a party with this character. Unless you end up GMing for... We'll see. Anyway, this one comes straight from the heart, and that's how you know it's good, because this one mattered a lot. Now, rant over. Let's talk about why teamwork feats are horrible first. Okay, so if you didn't know, a teamwork feat is a feat that you can take that, if your allies also have that feat, grant you both some conditional benefits. On paper, that looks great. In practice, not so much. Because probably like 90% of the builds that would benefit from teamwork feats are already so feat-starved that they can't afford to take even one teamwork feat lest they sabotage their entire build, let alone getting 2 characters to be able to do this. Teamwork feats are good. Teamwork feats are almost always situational. There is no teamwork feat that looks better on the human barbarian than power attack most of the time. Outflank is sweet. You might not be able to get that flank though. You might not be around an ally. Power attack always has value. Of course, there's been a couple classes come down. Of course, the Inquisitor, who gets teamwork feats as bonus feats and treats everybody else as if they were to have them. The Cavalier, who, if you don't feel like charging all over the place, can pass out teamwork feats. the hunter gives them to animal companions, and teamwork feats are really great for those classes. Those are not the classes we will play today. Today we are playing a Skald, like we talked about. For this character, I chose the Skald for one reason, basically, and that is Raging Song. Think of it like the hybrid of Bardic Performance and Barbarian Rage, as truly, this class is what happens when the Bard seduces the Barbarian. At first level, a Skald can use Raging Song for a number of rounds equal to 3 plus their Charisma. It goes up by 2 every additional level after. There's only one we're worried about, Inspired Rage. At first level, affected allies gain a +2 morale bonus to strength and constitution, and a +1 bonus on will saves, but also takes a -1 on their armor class, like a baby Barbarian Rage. While under the effects of this rage, allies other than the Skald cannot use any Cha, Dex, or Int-based skills unless the ones you can do while you're mad. The bonus increases as you level, your friends aren't fatigued after the song ends, but that's not what we're worried about here. If an ally has their own rage class ability, such as Barbarian Rage, they may use their bonuses, their penalties, not our own. Still suffering no fatigue afterwards, it's a battery for the Barbarian. No fatigue is amazing. This also basically single-handedly stops sudden Barbarian death syndrome, because if my rounds of Raging Song run out, the Barbarian in question probably has all of their rounds of Barbarian Rage left in such a way that they can run and get healed. The Skald can cast spells like a bard. The Skald's got them sweet, sweet heals. Anywho, that's basically the only thing you need to worry about with the Skald for this build, other than our archetype. That is to say, I'm sure you've guessed it, we talked about it on Twitch a little while, the Battle Scion. Whenever a Battle Scion would gain a Rage Power from the Skald's Rage Power ability, we get them at 3rd and every 3 thereafter. Instead, the Skald can gain a combat feat or teamwork feat so long as they meet the prereqs. The Skald can pass out rage powers to friends who are in that inspired rage. The Battle Scion can grant the feat chosen to allies under the effect of inspired rage as long as the allies also meet the prereqs. In return, we spend 2 rounds of Raging Song for each round that we're passing out combat feat or teamwork feats, and these feats can be used as prereqs for one another. Teamwork feats are really good if the party doesn't have to worry about being taxed to take them. If your ranger or your barbarian or your blood rager or whatever martial you're playing has both, they become a super terrifying engine of destruction. Now, I'm not going to roleplay this one. This one's all me, because this one's important to me. For our race, there is one and only one. The Rage-bred Skinwalker, the Wereborkin Skinwalker. Now, we are the maddest class ever. We're going to need 13 Constitution, we're going to need 13 Intelligence, we're going to need a lot of Dex, we're buffing Strength because unfortunately the Urban Skald does not stack with Battle Scion. Dumping Wisdom is terrifying, we cast off our Charisma. Basically, we need all of them. If your GM will allow it, the Pre-errata +2 Wisdom, +2 Constitution, -2 Charisma looks a little better for us than +2 Strength, +2 Con. Actually, that might be a wash. I don't know. We're not super concerned about our own ability to deal damage, though. We just want to enable the party to be able to do it. This build is kind of dependent on at least one person in the party building alongside it. Big, ugly marshals. That's the name of the game. The archer doesn't benefit from this, the casters don't, but things that like to be up in the face of other things, punching in the face those other things, yeah, they love it. To say nothing of something like an animal companion who just got richer, right? It's dumb. Anyway, I know none of what I just said explains why we're playing the Rage-bred. If you've been with the channel for a while, you already know exactly why when we covered this race on the Forgotten Race review. I'll give you a second hint before I just blurt it out to everybody. Our alignment must be chaotic good. We must worship Desna for this build to pan out. Some of you already know why. The rest of you, sit tight. It's crazy. Now let's talk about our feats. The first feat we will be taking is Extra Feature. straight out the gate at level 1. Now, I think it's a little taxy that the Skinwalker must choose when they shift into their shape-changed form what it is that they want to use, what benefit they want to get. Of course, the Skinwalker is thus incredibly modal, but it does cause them to fall down on the power balance just a little bit. Extra feature is why we need 13 con, and it says whenever you change shape to your bestial form, you may choose one additional feature from those listed in your shape change ability and gain that benefit while in bestial form. The default for the Ragebred will be 2 hoof attacks and 1 gore attack. It is critical that you get this at first level or at least at some point. The buff to base speed is nice, scent is obviously very powerful, but you can switch into those as you need them. We need them because we need to make sure our gore connects. It's so important. And since now we have 3 natural attacks, multi-attack is our next feat. Multi-attack says our secondary natural attacks swing in at -2 rather than -5. Because we're going to want some manufactured weapons. We're going to want as many attacks as possible. The build just really hinges on those boar tusks hitting in. And you're about to see one part of why. Next up is combat expertise. Who cares? Feat tax is feat tax. After that is probably my favorite feat in Pathfinder. It requires us worship Desna, and we need combat expertise, but butterflies sting. Check this out. When you confirm a critical hit against a creature, you can choose to forego the effect of the critical hit and grant a critical hit to the next ally who hits the creature with a melee attack before the start of your next turn. Your attack only deals normal damage, and the next ally automatically confirms. Now, I'm sure some of you know what we're doing, but we're gonna just keep on going. You'll see it in a second. We do take the other half in class via a feat, rather than giving it out to everybody. Our next 2 feats, taken at 9th and 11th, are extra performance. A Skald counts as a bard. A PFS Skald replaces Scribe's Scroll with extra performance. It stands to reason our charisma might not be the highest in the world. We are mad and we have a -2 to that attribute. We're spending our rounds of stuff at 2 per to hand out teamwork feats, so we need to pad out just a little. Eventually this may become arbitrary. If it is, please feel free to retrain these. But I am terrified of novaing, and remember, you're basically the ultimate support enabler. The party needs to be able to count on you. You are handing out stuff that's really good, and you need to make sure that throughout the long dungeon crawls and big battles of the combat day, we need to make sure this happens all the time. 12 extra rounds of Raging Song, or 6 extra rounds if we're passing out teamwork feats, probably gets us there. Anywho, at level 13, we'll take extra rage power for the 2 of the 1-2 punch. It is so terrifying. And you already know it if you've watched some of our content, but Boar's Charge. While raging, when you hit with a gore attack as part of a charge, you automatically score a critical threat. You must still confirm the critical hit as normal. So, the move is charge forward, attack with gore. Gore hits. It's automatically a crit. Roll to confirm. We confirmed. Butterflies sting. We'll do normal damage, but the next ally to hit in melee will get an automatic critical. That looks amazing from the point of view of the Uber Charger who's coming in with a lance. It looks amazing for somebody who didn't want the crit fishing weapon and has rolled into town with like a falcata, a scythe, or that classic barbarian weapon, the Great Axe. The Great Axe is really scary when the D12 is constantly swinging in at ×3. That's the goal here. If that isn't teamwork, I don't know what is. But let's make it even meaner. We need a lot of decks because we'll be taking 2-weapon fighting and improved 2-weapon fighting as our next 2 feats. When I play this character, I'm probably rolling in with like double Keen Kukris or like Kukri and Scimitar. Remember, our damage is arbitrary. Doesn't matter. What matters to us is our ability to get those crits. 15 to 20 is a thing. The more we can set up our allies to do big ×3 ×4 criticals, the happier we'll be. Last but not least, at level 19, we'll take a feat that's just for us, Skald's Vigor. While maintaining a raging song, you gain fast healing equal to the strength bonus your song provides. If you stop, the fast healing ends. Fast healing's really good, especially over a couple of rounds, because some GMs will target the crap out of us. We need to stay up. Now let's talk about those teamworky, combat-y, ragey things, shall we? 5 of the 6 feats we're taking today are going to be teamwork feats. There's one rage power that we have to take, because, God, it's real dumb. And I suppose, also, Boar's Charge is not inherently associated with Wereborkin. It's not like a racial feat, it's just, this is available to Wereborkin and those who associate with them. So if there's something else out there that has a gore, works super great. If your allies have a gore attack, if you've got a bunch of druids in the party and they're turning into like white-tailed deer who are suddenly wrecking house, yeah, take Boar's Charge on the other side. I'm assuming we don't have that. Anyway, first out the gate at level 3, the best teamwork feat in all of Pathfinder. So far as myself here is concerned, Shake It Off. It's the first feat my Inquisitor in our Drow game is taking, and I'm really excited because I think Lucia's sister is playing a Necromancer, which means I'm going to be surrounded by zombies. And you guys know that I'm a really big fan of buffing the defense before the offense. Doesn't matter how hard you're hitting if you died to a bad save. Shake It Off reads, when you are adjacent to one or more allies who have this feat, you gain a +1 bonus on saving throws per such ally, a maximum of +4. Suddenly everybody has an extra cloak of resistance. That's huge. That's amazing. That's the difference between life and death. That's the difference between life and mind control, which is the death of the party. It's the difference between all the things. Hands down, though we do a lot of really dumb stuff in this build, that's what's the most important. I suppose the next two are going to seem kind of boring on paper. Oh well, you'll learn to love them. At level 6, Outflank. Once you have a base attack bonus of 4, and since we just got there, unless like the witch wants to run in and punch somebody, we're all good at this point. Whenever you and an ally who also has this feat are flanking the same creature, your flanking bonus on attack rolls increases to +4. That's pretty cool. Sure, great, +2 to hit, no one said no to it, why not? That's not the big one. In addition, whenever you score a critical hit against the flanked creature, it provokes an attack of opportunity from your ally. So, you did score a critical hit with Boar's Charge. You chose to forego the effect, but the critical was scored. Suddenly it provokes from everyone around you, because they all have it, and then it comes down to like the party sequencing who needs to hit first, because they're gonna crit them. Oh wait, then they crit them. Then it provokes from you. Then swing your scimitar and just loop. Absolute terror. We of course will also grab Improved Outflank, because we want to make sure we don't have to draw a straight line between us and bad guy. As long as you're both threatening the same guy, you're flanking. Easy peasy. Now at level 12, my second favorite rage power after Boar's Charge. This is the rage power we're going to grant to everyone. If you played Dungeons & Dragons 3.5 and you opened a book called Complete Warrior, you might recognize Robilar's Gambit. It's just been renamed as a rage power, Come and Get Me. While raging, as a free action, the Skald and all of our friends may leave themselves open to attack while preparing a devastating counterattack. Enemies gain a +4 on attack and damage against us, and all our friends. But, until the beginning of their next turn, every attack against everyone in the party provokes an attack of opportunity from whoever is being attacked. And if they crit, it provokes from everyone else. We're not taking combat reflexes. It's on you to have enough dex to make this work and make sure everybody else in the party has dex training enchantment combat reflexes. Take that feat dex. Oh, by the way, our attack is resolved first, which then sets off a chain reaction that probably killed somebody before anything happened. Terror. But it gets even better. I was gonna go dig around in my videos and find one of the billion times in our Chaotic Evil run of Kingmaker where I've had 8 things attack And in a real-time with pause RPG, it all happens at once. And there have been several times that I've shouted at my monitor, "Everyone attack it at once!" And they do so. That's exactly what Lucia said. Just exactly when I told her about this feat, Coordinated Charge. We have a base attack of 11 at this point. Again, unless the sorcerer wants to get frosty, everyone qualifies. Everyone has actually 3 teamwork feats at this point. When an ally with this feat charges a creature that is no further away from you than your speed, you can, as an immediate action, charge that creature. You must be able to follow all normal charge rules. Are we? Yeah, that is everyone attacking it. God, I'm sorry. It's hilarious to me. The picture here. Step 1. Everyone delays until the Skald goes. But the Skald probably wants to go last-ish because we want to make sure everyone is capable of an immediate action. Step 2. The Skald charges. As an immediate action, so does everyone else. Now, I have never in my life seen any official rules as written on how this many attacks at once are resolved. I'm going to be real honest, guys. I have no idea. It's probably a GM call. GMs let your players do it the way they see fit. Yes, you can GM against them and, oh no, that's too powerful. We'll resolve it in the way that's the worst for you. That's not what this game is about, and you know it. But I digress. The Skald charges. The Skald attacks with a gore and probably hits because all of our movement has resolved and we're flanking. Then we'll forego the effects of our critical hit and we'll give it to somebody else. It's provoked from everybody else. We decide who amongst the everybody else would like to get the critical damage, then it provokes from us. We'll swing with the scimitar. This is even scarier if someone in the party is also crit fishing because the amount of attacks that can go off in rapid succession when we do this is crazy. It's insane. If we had a little more room in this build, we'd run the animal totem line, we'd give everyone pounce. Unfortunately, can't quite. However, this is certainly our armor choice. If we can work with some magic item rules to apply this to everyone's armor, that's great. Or just wear hide armor because tigers hide. +3 hide armor with an armor check penalty of 0, an arcane spell failure chance of 10, the max dex is 6, DR 5 over everything against natural attacks, whatever. Everyone gets this because everyone can then use pounce. Only during the first round they can act in any combat. That's sure, fine. If it pans out for everyone, if someone else charging triggers the whole rush, cool. But remember, we have 2 hoof attacks. We are going into battle with 5 attacks. A gore, 2 hooves, and a pair of the 15 to 20s of your choice. A full attack, since our BAB is giving us 3, then 1 we assume from haste somewhere, then gore, hoof, that's 7 attacks. If the luck cleric has given you advantage that round, I think I've said it enough. I think you guys get it. It's dumb. This build is terrifying. Anyway, sorry, rambling. One more feat. Paired Opportunist. It's our last teamwork feat, and it says whenever you are adjacent to an ally who also has this feat, God, I guess that's another reason to make sure you get Shake It Off. You guys are like always in fireball formation. Anyway, you get a +4 circumstance bonus on attacks of opportunity against creatures you both threaten. Oh wait, that's like half of how the damage is done. Enemies that provoke attacks of opportunity from your ally also provoke attacks of opportunity from you so long as you threaten them. Even if you wouldn't normally be able to, this does not allow you to take more than 1 attack of opportunity against a creature for a given action. Imagine if someone in the party has a reach weapon. Imagine if everyone is enlarged personed. Imagine both. What makes these shenanigans even scarier, and literally, it's like 4 hours before this video goes live, I just thought of this, gotta come back, slap it in real fast. Paired Opportunists allows everybody who's threatening the guy that attacked the guy who's using Come and Get Me to provoke. Attacking us provokes from all of us. We understand how dumb this is. This is, I don't even know what to say. What? This is really good. And even if it wasn't, +4 on attacks of opportunity mean we're hitting all the time. Yeah. So I don't have any combat math this time. Again, This build is entirely dependent on how you build, how your party is built. If the Skald is surrounded by a bunch of frontline marshals or gishes with spell storing, so they can put Shocking Grasp inside their weapon before their auto crit on the Great Axe happens, what is life? Jeez, this build will get where you want it to go constantly. It's terrifying. Remember to follow this card right up here for the big 6, because God, we need all of them. Every item, all the stats, literally there's not a stat that's not at least a 13 here. In the optimized party, to be honest, I don't want to call us the Punisher, but like, you don't need a Punisher if all the switch hitters are critting and it's provoking from everyone, and in the first round everyone's dead and the control casters are just scratching the backs of their heads and flipping through their spell books trying to figure out what even are we supposed to do now. So far as your spells go, and the spells you do get, follow this card right up here. We have access to the Bard list. This will get you there. Also, the Skald gets an ability that lets them cast whatever spell they want once a day from certain spell lists. So yeah, no, we're not here for the magics. We're here for the blood god and blood for everybody else's blood god. So much blood, all the blood. I hope you're not afraid of blood, kids. This build is gnarly. I cannot wait to feed people's monsters to this, but cool. Anyway, what do you guys think? Scary? Yeah, in the comments, tell me how terrifying this is. We'll all just talk about it forever because it's super spooky. Now, quick announcement. August 1st is on a Thursday. It is looking incredibly likely that I will be able to have an episode of Min-Maxing for Fun and Profit out on August 1st. I've seen some comments in the past couple days. I want to assure everyone, yeah, 2nd edition is coming. Yeah, we're getting our feet in it. We are diving in. We are your source, as I've said a million times, for all of the Pathfinder 1st and 2nd edition content you ever wanted. We're probably going to be on 2E for a little while, but that does not mean at all that we are done with min-maxing for fun and profit. For Pathfinder 1st edition, the list is really long and I enjoy it. Patrons, of course, can cut the line. I want to do a special min-maxing for fun and profit for the last week that 1E is by itself, so I'm going to call dibs on that one. But next week, of all the things in the world to optimize around, next week we are optimizing around throwing the halfling. Yeah, that's what am I optimizing 2 characters in one? I might have to. What is life? I don't understand. I'll talk to you guys in a week.